I think I make movies to feel less lonely, and I hope the audience will feel less lonely, because I want to make films about things that are hard to talk about, secrets and lies and betrayals and family secrets and things that there are not words for. And in doing so, I think, seeing it, I think people might feel less lonely with their own secrets and lies and shame. I'm from a Sami family. And there are elders in my family who strongly reject Sami people, even though they are Sami themselves. And I've always known that. They grew up only speaking Sami in nomadic reindeer herding families, but then they went to our residential schools, and now they're Swedish and have cut all ties with their past, and we can't talk about their past. Even though most part of my family people are still working in reindeer herding. So I grew up with both sides, and I always wondered what happened to these generations, because so many of them left everything behind, and I always wondered, can you really become another person, and what does it do to you as a person to cut all ties with your family and your culture and your background, and maybe even more, what does it do to you to grow up in a time where it was science that you were an inferior race? Like, how can you not internalize that? How do you deal with that? It's a big challenge to make a film on set up on the mountains by the polar circle, and I wanted all these elements of uncontrolled real life. I wanted reindeer, mosquitoes, dogs, flies, fire, water, fog, smoke, a lot of children. So everything was difficult. I wanted the film to be as violent and as beautiful as it feels like growing up. Therefore, I wanted to make a film with yoik, like our way of singing or chanting, and blood. And with knives and reindeer and the nature that I grew up with. And of course that's not easy, but it's difficult to make movies, always. I think it's a universal theme. The film is very much about how to be to fit in, how much should you sacrifice for a better life, what is a better life, can you free yourself from the body you were born into and the place you were born, or does that forever define you? Those questions. And very much about growing up, and who to be loved. So I think that might be why it has worked so well in a lot of countries and over here. It's been received during these years that I've been working on it. I think Europe and the US and the world has turned more and more back into the 1930s in many ways. So I think it's always relevant to look at our past, because I think we all carry a mindset from that time of phrenology and racial biology that we might not be aware of, but it's here. Colonization, the colonization of our mind, internalized racism. But it has been very much received as a film about assimilation, and it is. I also wondered, what is full assimilation? What are we asking out of people today? We want everyone to assimilate and leave to fit in, leave what you came from to fit in a society. At least that's, we talk a lot about that where I'm from. And my family went through that. And what does that do to you? I think it's important to look at it from the other perspective. This world is new to most people. So I'm happy to show, a world that I know and always known, to a world that doesn't know anything about this, and to see it from a young girl's perspective and from our perspective, from a from an inside perspective. And I guess I want people to bring with them the same questions that I posed, making it. Will the place you were born always be your home, or can you create a new one? And how much does the body you were born into, the place you were born, the family and society you were born into define you or not? Can you free yourself from that? And if you can, what happens to you then? Who are you then,